So let me tell you why you shouldn't be a hero. Being a hero is something that requires too much effort. There's a lot of people who is going to attribute you and your symbol to their own morals. And if you save somebody that they don't particularly like, now you're all of a sudden a bad guy, or you don't know what you're doing with your powers and you should give other people control of it or just give it up altogether. And then you'll find yourself in situations where the government now steps in. So you now have the people going at you, and now you have the government going in, and they'll tell you, hey, you don't know how to use your powers, therefore we need to be in charge, or you need to give it to one of our people. And that's always a problem because, as you can see in pretty much every movie where there's powers involved, a governing body is always trying to take control of stuff. You saw in the 2010s where they're trying to take Superman's powers in Man of Steel and then Batman v Superman. You saw with the Avengers with Civil War. They were trying to get them to sign over their rights to be able to use their powers as according to what they want to do to the government, or to governments, I think. And so that creates a problem. Like, Scarlet Witch did the best she could with the information she had at that moment. And some way, somehow, they're like, well, she's a problem because she's destructive, and here's the destruction she caused. Like, bro, she had no other choice. I could tell you that I could have come up with something better, but all of that's hindsight, and that's 2020. And then you have the villains. So as Vision said, their very existence brings challenge, and you don't want any challenge to arise based off of the powers you have. People are going to see you and say, man, you're as powerful as Superman. We're going to find a way. And that creates a problem now, because in their efforts to do so, they'll either sacrifice a whole bunch of people or things to get there. And that creates a problem already, because now everybody's looking at you like, hey, you brought this on us. Or they will eventually get that power and start being destructive. And again, people will look at you like, hey, you brought this on us. Either which way, you don't want that to happen. So let me say this. If you're a person where you want to be a hero, or rather you want to help the world, you don't want to be a hero, but you want to help, what you should do is create an organization kind of like Ra's al Ghul's, but do it better. Ra's is a moron. His entire organization is absolutely stupid, okay? What you got to do is you create an organization that takes over stuff, and one works in the shadow, one works in the light. The shadow one is going to eliminate all the corruption. The light one will come in and take over, so that they can be there temporarily, so that the average people can get in and start doing the job properly. The whole point there being is to have the average person be able to see that if they did things right and they worked hard and they were smart about things, that they were now able to correct a lot of the errors that we have going on in this day and age, especially based off of the fact that a lot of corruption is just rampant. So we got to take charge. Now, at the end of the day, that's the best way to do it. If you become some type of symbol of hope or whatever the case is, it's going to make it very difficult for the average person to want to take over. So for you now, you have to play support by using your powers to make things a little bit easier for everybody, but do not play the hero. With that being said, till next time.